I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? Clash in Italy is officially over and done with. It's in the books. It was a pretty okay premium live event for the most part. The Italian crowd was hyped for all of the matches. I still think we should get more than just 5 matches. Again, we're getting 2 free matches on television on ESPN2, and then it switches over to the app on ESPN Unlimited, and then, that's it. I feel that we need to have at least either a 6th match or either like a 7th match. Again, the problem that Triple H has is he's still stuck in the NXT black and gold realm of doing things, where he has to do 5 matches, and he's too scared to add more matches on the card, and it makes 0 sense. And I don't understand why he continues to do that. I feel like Clash would have been better if we would have gotten at least 2 more matches on the show. I feel like Clash should have been at least 3.5 hours at least. Something like that. To me, that would have been fine. But it was basically 2.5 hours. And that was it. So overall, I thought the show was okay. I feel that the main event did not deliver like it should have, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. Cody Rhodes and Gunther, that was fine, but that was also quite weak. So there's that. So we're going to get into Clash in Italy from May the 31st, 2026. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Cody Rhodes defeats Gunther to retain the WWE Undisputed Championship. This match was okay. I figured that Cody would retain. Why? Because it was the first match on the damn show. So why would Cody drop the title to Gunther? I know most people wanted that to happen. I think it might happen, and it probably will happen more so in Saudi. So I feel that there is going to be another match out of that we get. But we've already seen Gunther and Cody face each other quite a few times already. But this match was okay. So Cody, he ate a couple of chops early on in the match. Cody was trying to go for the disaster kick, and he was able to hit it along with the crossroads. Gunther kicked out of that. Cody was trying to go for he was trying to go for the Cody cutter. Gunther ended up locking in the sleeper. Cody was able to fight out of that. The match continued on. Gunther did some more chops to Cody. Gunther kept on trying to lock in the sleeper. Cody kept on having a counter to it all the time. And then Gunther was trying to go for another Cody cutter. No, my bad. Cody was trying to go for a Cody cutter. Gunther, he blocked that. He ended up getting a sleeper on. Cody fought out of that. He ended up hitting a springboard Cody cutter. And then he ended up winning the match via a crossroads for the 1, 2, 3. Gunther's boot was under the bottom rope. So, there's that. This is fine. It's not really all that important. This is just to add a little bit more fire to their feud. And I have no problem with it. Again, I do expect for them to run this match back in Saudi, and that's probably where Cody will probably lose the title to Gunther, which actually makes the most sense, if we're being honest. So there is that. I quite like it. And, this is fine. Again, I know people are mad as hell because, well, Cody's boring. It's like, it's not Cody that's doing this. It's the booker. It's Triple H. Triple H is to blame. Again, Cody is very good. Same thing with Gunther. Both guys are very good. It's just the problem is the booking, right? And even if Gunther wins come Saudi, I don't think he's going to have the title long. I think he'll probably end up dropping it at SummerSlam. So even if Cody loses at Saudi next month in June, it really wouldn't matter because Gunther's not going to have the title long. I do expect for CM Punk at some point to show up and either confront Cody or Roman at some point because Smackdown is fucking insufferable. But Cody winning was the right decision, and it's fine. Again, would I watch this match again? No, it was fine. It was short. I thought it was going to be longer than this. I can't believe this thing didn't even go 15 minutes or even 20 minutes. This thing was basically about 10 to 12 minutes, and that wasn't good. And I feel like if this was on the main card of the show, I feel like things could have ended differently, that we could have gotten Gunther going over Cody, but it just didn't happen. And I knew when they announced that was going to be the first match, I already knew going in that Cody was winning. Like, there's no way in fucking hell that Cody was going to lose on free television to Gunther, right? If this would have been like the co-main event, over Becky Lynch and Ruca. Like if this would have been co-main before Roman and Jacob Fatu Tribal Combat, then yeah, I could have easily have seen Gunther winning. But it didn't happen, so it is what it is. So again, this match was fine. Moving on, Rhea Ripley defeats Jade Cargill to retain the WWE Women's Championship. This match was actually really good. It got a lot of time. I want to say it was about close to 20 minutes, which was very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So Jade overpowered Rhea for the first maybe 5 to 8 minutes of the match. She gave her, clotheslines and big boots and a couple scoop slams and stuff like that. Rhea fought back. She was able to hit a Shining Wizard, got a near fall. The match continued on. She ended up hitting the Razor's Edge, followed up by a beautiful Shining Wizard. Jade kicked out of that. They continued to fight. Jade hit a beautiful Blue Thunder Bomb, which was great. And then Rhea kicked out of that. Jade began to get pissed off and frustrated. So, Rhea ended up hitting a top German suplex off the top rope. Off the top rope. Both women fell down. And then that's when the shenanigans happened because the baddies, a.k.a. Michin and B-Fab, they showed up. So, Jade hit Rhea with a big boot off of the distraction. So Rhea was trying to go for the Riptide. She hit it, and B-Fab put Jade's foot on the rope. And so Rhea began going after B-Fab and Michin and everything. Charlotte Flair showed up. She ended up doing a beautiful crossbody, taking out B-Fab and Michin, and they kept fighting to the back and everything. Then Jade hit the Jaded onto Rhea. Charlotte did the same thing that B-Fab did. She got involved. She put Rhea's foot on the rope. The match continued. Rhea hit a beautiful headbutt, followed by the Riptide for the 1, 2, 3, and Rhea Ripley retains. So this was fine. I actually enjoyed this match. This match was good. This was even better than their WrestleMania match. I just wish that B-Fab and Michin and Charlotte Flair didn't get involved, but we all knew it was coming. So, there's that. Again, to me, this is fine. So now that Jade is done with Rhea, where the fuck does she go next? Because that's the big question. What does she do? And who is going to be the one to dethrone Rhea at some point, right? Now, Mariah May, she's going to put her name in the hat and everything else. I forgot to mention that she was on Smackdown and she was, wanting to go after Rhea Ripley. But that's not good because we know that Rhea's going to, beat B-Fab. Hopefully, what they should do is build up Mariah May for a while, build her up for a good little bit, at least a good month, 2 months, and maybe have her dethrone Rhea at SummerSlam, but that's not going to happen. I feel like they're going to end up doing Rhea and Mariah May in Saudi, and I think that's what's going to end up happening there, because I don't know what big plans they have for Rhea going into SummerSlam. I don't know who she could face. Again, Mariah May would be perfect, but I feel like they're going to run through that feud very quickly, and that's not a good thing because Mariah May just got there, and I got a feeling, like I said, they're going to end up doing probably the first match in Saudi. Next match would be sometime in July. I believe that's when the next Saturday Night's Main Event is. It's either in June or July, one of the two. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's June. So they'll probably end up running Mariah and Rhea and Saudi, and then do the next match probably at like a Saturday Night's Main Event. And you could continue the feud going into SummerSlam, but I doubt it'll happen. But we'll have to wait and see. But this match is fine. Again, I'm worried what's going to happen with Jade. Where does she go next? Who is she going to feud with? So, there's that. Well, maybe this does lead to Jade versus Charlotte. Maybe that's where all this is going. So, maybe we do get Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. We could build it for a couple months. You don't want to give it away in Saudi. So you could build it up until SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is basically in 2 months, right? So that's what should happen. But we'll have to wait and see how things play out on that part. Moving on from that, this leads us into Brock Lesnar defeating Oba Femi. This match was very, very solid. So Brock got a good reaction, same thing with Oba. Brock ended up attacking Oba before the bell, or right after the bell ring. He ended up hitting not 1, not 2, or even 3, but he hit 4 F5s. Oba kicked out. So the match continued. I'm surprised that there was no German suplexes in this match, so there was no Suplex City in Italy, which there should have been. Michael Cole said on commentary, it's do or die for Brock Lesnar. And I knew when Michael Cole uttered those words, it's over for Oba Femi. I already knew that shit going in. So, Oba fought back. Brock ended up locking in the Kimura. Oba, it looked like he was about to tap, but he didn't. He kept fighting through the pain and everything else. He sold it well. The match continued. Lesnar ended up hitting another F5 to Oba. Oba kicked out of that. Oba ended up making a comeback. He ended up going for a choke slam, and then Lesnar got out of dodge from that. They fought a little bit on the outside. Brock ended up hitting a nasty F5 through the announce table, the Italian one. And then Oba was able to fight back a little bit. He got up at 7, able to get back into the ring. And and Brock sold that well. Like, that was great. And then Oba ended up hitting 3 running uppercuts. He was about to go for the fall from grace, but Brock got out of dodge. He leapfrogged it, and he hit a 7th F5 for the 1, 2, 3, and that was all she wrote. This match was great. I love this. Lesnar winning basically was the right decision. And I kind of figured, like I said before, when Michael Cole said that on commentary, that it's do or die for Lesnar, I knew good and damn well that Brock Lesnar had to fucking win. So Brock winning was the right decision. I like it. It sets up for Oba and Brock 3 at SummerSlam, which is where Brock is more likely going to lose, and put Oba Femi over. I know some people wanted Oba to go 3-0, but we know that that's not going to happen. That's not how Triple H books. If Vince was still in the chair, then yes, we probably would see a clean sweep of Oba beating Brock. But with Triple H in charge, that shit's not going to happen because 50-50 booking exists, pal. So, there is that. But this is fine. Post-match, Brock Lesnar says that 1 + 1, you're done, bitch. So that basically means that they're 1-1 and they're going to do the rubber match at SummerSlam, which is fine. I actually like it. I'm for this, and it makes sense. I'm shocked that this didn't get 10 minutes. This actually went about 7 to 8 minutes, which is fine. But man, I thought we were going to get at least a 10-minute match out of Brock. Brock's like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. I'm giving you guys 7 to 8 minutes. I ain't giving you guys no 10 minutes. I was thinking at max 12. But Brock's like, nah, I'm not even going to do 12 minutes for y'all. So this is fine. It makes sense. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Maybe Brock will show up on Raw. Maybe. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Moving on, they did some wrestlers in the crowd. So Julia, she was there. Santino Marella was there. Austin Theory and Braun Breaker, they were there. So that's cool. The Judgment Day, they were there also. So there's that. Moving on from that, we get a beautiful recap of the Grande Americano storyline. Grande Americano versus the original Grande Americano, Mask versus Mask. I apologize. I did not watch that. I will watch it, however. I will watch it for sure. I'm not going to do a review, but I will damn sure watch it for sure. I will definitely put that on my to-do list of things to do. So I am damn sure going to watch it. Moving on from that, this leads us into Sol Ruca defeating Becky Lynch to become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. And this match was quite fun. I actually enjoyed this. So Jessica Carr, she officiated this match, and we all know that Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch, they have this long-standing feud and of hatred with each other. So basically, Becky beat up Sol Ruca early on in the match and everything else. Sol Ruca ended up hitting a beautiful moonsault in the middle of the match. They kept continuing to fight on and all that. Becky, kept getting a bunch of near falls. Sol Ruca ended up doing a beautiful DDT. Oh no, Becky Lynch ended up doing a beautiful DDT. Sol no-sold it, ended up hitting a super kick. So, that was their indie-rific spot of the match, which is fine. So then Becky, she was about to go for the Snow Snatcher, but Sol Ruca was able to get out of dodge for that one. Becky ended up hitting the Manhandle Slam, but that was reversed into the that was reversed. Becky ended up hitting the Manhandle Slam. She got a near fall. And then Becky was about to do something to Sol Ruca. She lifted her up, and Sol Ruca got out of it, and she ended up hitting the Soul Snatcher for the 1, 2, 3, and Sol Ruca wins. This was perfect. Makes perfect sense. I'm glad this happened. Excellent stuff here. So Ruca winning, that was the right decision. I do expect for there to be another match. This will probably happen at Saudi. Then we'll probably have the rubber match at SummerSlam, where Ruca will end up dropping the title back to Becky Lynch. So this makes perfect sense. Ruca winning is fine. Maybe Ruca can have a couple matches, maybe with like Maxine Dupree, because she's going to turn heel eventually. We got Ivy Nile, who can show up. We got Natty. So, you got a few women who can kind of go after Ruca until Becky ends up getting the title back once again at SummerSlam. So I expect for them to do the rematch at Saudi, whatever. Not a Champions, not a Champions in Saudi. So I expect for that to happen, and then Becky. Then Becky will ultimately win it back at SummerSlam. So there's that. So the match, like I said before, was fine. Moving on from that, this leads us into the King and Queen of the Ring brackets. They're going to be revealed in due time. So, there's that. And then Michael Cole mentioned Saturday night's main event is going to be taking place on July 18th at Madison Square Garden, MSG. Okay, cool. Moving on from that, main event of the evening, Roman Reigns defeats Jacob Fatu to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. So Roman survives tribal combat. And I must say, this match did not deliver. They barely did anything to each other. It was very slow. Jacob and Roman, they fought out in the crowd for a little bit. Typical Samoan stuff, Samoan drops, drop kicks, Superman punches, all that. Jacob tried to lock in the Tongan death grip like 10 million times in this match. I'm like, what the fuck? So, Jacob ended up locking it in. So, Roman fought out of it and everything else. Roman bought in a table. So there's that. Roman ended up doing a spear through the barricade. That was a pretty cool spot, but we see it all the time, so it doesn't really matter. I thought the Usos were going to come out and get involved, but they didn't. So the match continued on to where Jacob ended up hitting a spear of his own out of nowhere, which was great. That was beautiful. Then Jacob went for the moonsault. Roman avoided that. Then Jacob was able to hit it along with a pop-up Samoan drop. So Roman kicked out of that. Then Roman ended up bringing a toolbox, ended up hitting Jacob Fatu with that a couple times. He worked on the arm of Jacob Fatu and everything else with that. The hand of Jacob Fatu. That was great. Jacob ended up trying to do another Tongan death grip. Roman fought out of that. Roman ended up spearing Jacob Fatu through the table in the middle of, in the corner. Then Roman ended up hitting another spear for the 1, 2, 3. And Roman retains, and he's now still the head of the table. And Michael Cole said that Jacob Fatu has been neutered and domesticated by Roman Reigns, which is kind of funny. So, there's that. The Usos come out. They celebrate with Roman and everything else. Then Solo and his crew, the MFTs, they were there. I'm like, what the fuck? Please don't let it be some type of bloodline versus bloodline stuff. But it feels like that's where they're going to go back with this. I imagine eventually it's going to be probably Royce Keys in due time joining. the MFTs at some point, because they're probably going to want to do like an 8-man tag at Saturday Night's Main Event. Probably that's probably what they want to do is like a massive 8-man tag. I hate to say it, but that's probably where they're gonna go with this shit. So there's that. And then Roman, he was trash talking as per usual and stuff like that. And so Jacob now is gonna have to fall in line, which is fine. So I do like this. This makes perfect sense. We all knew that Roman wasn't going to lose anyway. Don't know when Roman will lose. So now that Jacob Fatu is going to basically be in the Solo Sikoa spot where Solo was a few years ago, this actually makes sense. But could it be at some point we end up seeing Zilla Fatu in this whole thing, right? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I doubt it though, but we should get Zilla Fatu at some point in this thing, but I doubt it though. But overall, Clash in Italy was okay. Cody and Gunther was all right. It didn't really go like a second gear. It was kind of cut short for whatever reason. I feel like that should have been on the main card, honestly. Rhea and Jade Cargill did pretty good. That should have been on the main card, really. So those two matches should have been on the main card. I enjoyed Ruca and Becky Lynch. That was great. I like that. So that's good there. Roman and Jacob Fatu, that was okay, but it could have been better. But it is what it is. I'm interested in seeing where it goes, because I feel like the big thing that Roman's going to do is going to probably be Seth Rollins and Roman at SummerSlam. I feel like that's what's next for Roman. We know he's going to do something in Saudi, because Roman doesn't ever miss these Saudi shows. So I don't know what's going to come of that. Maybe that's where we get Roman Reigns versus LA Knight, because he did mention that on the post show. So maybe we get Roman Reigns and LA Knight, because I don't see LA Knight winning the King of the Ring. I don't know who's going to win it. And we know Trick Williams is not going to win that as well either. So I don't know who's going to win that. But I do think that LA Knight probably will end up challenging Roman in Saudi. So I could see that happening on that end. And I also liked Brock and Oba. I thought that was great too. So, there's that. But all in all, this show was pretty okay for the most part. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.